My heart rages around like an ocean in my head. I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that it's not reality. If you are echoing around inside these parallel dimensions all alone, know I'll find you in my dreams. I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that it's not reality.
Here we go.
Welcome, peeps, to another episode of Above the Fold Live, episode 21, guys. 2-1. Did we do anything special for 20? We didn't do anything special, did
we'll be here. Well, that's special enough.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
21's even more
graced you
special.
guys with our presence.
Yep.
We should definitely do something for 50 there. I think that should be our milestone.
Ooh,
Something.
yes.
We've got plenty of time ahead of us to plan something.
Guys in chat, give us suggestions for what we can do for 50. That's actually a good idea. But we are here again every Sunday as usual, and we have a special guest, Mr. Authentic, joining us today. How you doing, man?
Good guys, good guys. Glad you guys are having me here. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Awesome. And we also have our usual suspects, Nuns and Moses, aka Adam. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, how are you doing? I'm alright.
And last but not least, the sexy man himself, Neon Demon, aka Scott.
Shucks. Thank you. Thank you.
And thank
just
you.
sorry, just real
Yeah,
quick.
go for it.
I owe Authentic an apology.
Oh,
I want
this
to
is
get
live on
straight.
air. Holy shit, what's going on here?
Make sure we record and save this.
First, the first time we communicated, I called you Authenticate, and the entire stream you didn't correct me. It wasn't until Adam joined and says, "Dude, it's Authentic, not Authenticate." So
Lord.
I apologize.
I'm never gonna lie there. I was in the same position as well. I think you corrected me as well. You told me the same thing, like, nah, it's just authentic. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
so I so I've had my username for oh man, I think I created back in high school, honestly. So I've had this thing for like ever. And when I started thinking about doing Twitch, I'm like, I don't know, what should my screen name be? What should I don't know. I'm like, okay, well, we'll just throw this in here. I mean, this is what I've used for years on my, my Xbox. That's what I've had for years now. And
Yeah.
then when I started joining into people's streams, everybody's like Authentics or Authenticate and Authentic Killer. I'm like, I didn't know that this was gonna be like a a name that I could get so many names with.
yeah.
So
Oh, well.
yeah, no, no worries
It's
there
that
at
eight
all.
that did it. It's that eight at the end. I thought, oh, is he trying to spell authenticate in a really cool way, or?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, wait, authentic, but there's an 8 and there's authenticate, right? But I was like, you know what? Then he corrected me. I was like, okay, I got it. But
Yeah, so the 81 is actually a playoff. So I played football for like 7 years, and so that was always my number in when I played football. So that's a throwback to that essentially.
yeah. Wait, you play football?
I did
Inside
for
Sydney.
7 years. Yep.
Or you QB?
I was a much different person honestly when I was in high school. I was not quite as confident as I
job.
am now.
Oh,
So
okay.
if I was to go backwards in time and play football again, I would probably try to go out for a quarterback because I just really like the position. But no, I played during my 7 years. I played wide receiver, corner, and safety.
Ooh.
But I'll be honest, I was trash at corner. 'Cause the receiver would make a cut and juke me, and I would fall for it every time. I'm like, nope, can't play corner. I gotta go to safety.
Yeah. Well, your fantasy football skills is actually pretty top notch. I mean, you did kick my ass in the last match that we had, so I'm not happy about that. I'm a bit salty, but never mind. Never mind. Just
Hey,
real
man,
quick.
You're calling the win. You're calling the win before it was time.
I saw the points. Sorry, guys. We're just taking a tangent here. I'm in the fantasy football league that Authentic has, and I lost my first match against him. So just a bit salty, but it's
Did
fine.
you lose your cool as well, like you normally do?
No, I never do that. What are you talking about?
I mean, he
Oh,
did
I-
talk to me for a couple of days.
What? No.
He holds grudges, man.
Anyway,
So,
guys, I'm being attacked right now. Kisogo, just in your message. So for those of you that don't know Mayhem Moose, he's been on the show before. Sadly, he's had some very, very unfortunate events with his puppers or his dogs, I guess. So it's a bit of a sad day for him. We will obviously support him after the show, but please pass on our regards to him, all our love, and tell him that we're here for him as well. So thank you for letting us know, by the way.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that's I've never had a pet, and it's one of the reasons why I don't have a pet, because I know that I will be devastated if my my cat or my dog or whatever passes away. So Scott, you have a dog and a cat, and Authentic, you have
Yeah.
cats as well. So I can imagine you guys probably.
Had both. I can't imagine. Well, I know exactly what's going through, but yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I've had I've unfortunately had to put like animals down and stuff like that before too, and sometimes I was had a really big attachment to them too. But I always try to look at the bright side. That you have pets for 10, 15 years, sometimes longer.
Yeah.
And it's all the good that and happiness that brings you in during that period of time. It's a lot of heartache and a lot of sadness for a period of time once you outlive them. But I always try to look at the positive side of all the happy things and the memories that brings during that period of time.
Yeah. And again, our Our heart goes out to Mayhem. Please let him know that we feel for him.
Leading Mayhem as well.
Yes. So taking on a brief pivot, as best as we can. We have a great show for you guys today. We are going to be talking about MK, talking about Amazon's new cloud service gaming, and talking about PS5 breakdown as well. Plus, we have again our special guest Authentics, which we'll actually be going now to getting to know a little bit about the man, the legend. Tell us, man. Tell us a little bit about you, Authentic. Give us like your origin story, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. So I grew up in Michigan. So I'm from the U.S. I grew up in Michigan. Spent 20 years lived in Michigan for. Ended up moving with my family to Iowa. When about the time I was 20, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just ended up moving just due to like job relocations and stuff like that. So
Right.
just I was out of high school just a couple years. My sister had just gotten out of high school, and we had moved maybe a month after I think she graduated high school. So we just I didn't really have anything left for me in Michigan at the time, and didn't really bother. I'm like, might as well start over and see what else the world brings, right?
Sure.
So
sure,
ended up
sure.
moving to Iowa and been here ever since. Got into streaming with actually with B Scrub, and we started about the same time. Like I said before, we know each other in real life, so
Yeah.
we started streaming pretty much together. I think he had about a week on me. I'm like, okay, yeah, this sounds like a lot of fun. I thought about doing it actually before, and not something. I was looking from the wrong perspective, I guess. At that point in time, this was like 3-4 years ago. At that time, I was looking at it from like hey, can I actually make an extra dollar on the side here?
Gotcha.
I'm like, so, and I never ended up doing anything with it. Fast forward like 4 years later, then I'm like, okay, this seems like a lot of fun. We're in the middle of a pandemic. Luckily I was lucky enough to actually keep my job the entire time, but
just now,
go ahead.
now just gonna say, just speaking about that, because just to give people in chat some context in terms of how I met Authentic was actually through Big Scrubbing. Because I know you were modding in his channel, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And you were super like kind, you're nice. I got into chat, said hello, he said hello back. It was really, really nice. And I think that's how I knew or found out that you actually streamed. Either B Scrubby told me that you streamed as well, or you mentioned it during the chat. And then I was lucky enough to actually drop by your chat, and I stayed in there, and it was great. I think you were playing at the time Blair Witch, or probably the Blair Witch, or I think it was what's that space game again?
Dead Space.
Dead Space. Thank you. It's in the name. Dead Space. Yeah. So yeah, I remember that's how I actually encountered your stream, and then from then on, you met pretty much Neon Demon, Nuns and Moses. So, but I really enjoyed my time each time I actually go to your stream, and I was like, man, this guy's actually really dope, pretty like mellow, pretty chill. So yeah, I just want to add that context so that people understand. Like,
until he plays DBD, then he becomes an absolute monster. Chasing you around.
You don't want to see me play the killer. I get a little cocky when I play the killer. I can't lie.
I need to see this. Sounds great. So speaking about,
I usually win though. So.
Well, isn't that just the case about DBD? It's like if you have like a very good killer, you end up probably winning. Isn't that?
I mean, it depends.
Not all the
I
time.
think. I mean, we're gonna side tangent here, but as far as like Dead by Daylight goes, I think it depends on the player. Like, and I think it depends on what platform you're playing. With it being cross-platform now, you play with a lot of console players too, and I think PC players definitely have a advantage over console just because the movements on mouse and keyboard are way faster.
Yeah.
Than it is on a controller.
Gotcha.
But it depends on the perks. It depends on the experience. I mean, it's just like any other game, really. If you really, I think for anybody that's playing Dead by Daylight, if you play as if you know and play as the killer,
yeah,
then you learn how to avoid them when you play as a survivor too. So I think it's twofold.
Gotcha. Well, speaking of games, do you remember like the very first games you started playing growing up? Did you start off with like PC, or you had the whole like Sega, Nintendo type
Old school.
old
Might be
school?
showing
Uh,
age, you know.
Yeah, so I did have a PC when I was real little. That's probably, I mean, my parents have always been into doing like a lot of like computer stuff type of things. So like my dad's like a network engineer. My mom does web design. Um, so I mean, I've always been around computers in some capacity my entire life.
Gotcha.
My job right now, I work in management, and my company ends up like also sells computers too, and I've had to manage a team that sells computers, so along with TVs and gaming systems and a whole bunch of other stuff too. So I've been around it for 99% of my life, really. But to answer your question, Arrow, yeah, so PC was probably the first thing I was ever actually on. There was like some like little kid games I played, which I totally cannot remember the games at this moment.
It's fine.
It's been a minute. But there was definitely, and then after that I went, I played on Pico. I mentioned this in my
Pico?
stream. I don't know if anybody remembers Pico. It's super old school.
Pico,
It was
what is that?
Yeah, it's a gaming system. Definitely look it up. It's a gaming system that was like super early 90s, I think it was, and it was designed around little
Wow.
kids.
Okay.
Oh wow, okay.
It was a Sega product. Gotcha. Okay.
It may have been, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, it was a gaming console that was built around little kids to help them like learn things essentially, just
Okay.
in a more of a fun capacity. This is before like all the modern day consoles were out, right?
Yeah.
So I played on that console, which nobody remembers at all.
I've never
But
heard of it till now. Till you said it, I
yeah,
was like, okay.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and nobody does. But then I also played on Sega. I played Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
My
yeah.
grandparents, my grandmother was a big gamer,
Oh wow.
which was interesting because normally older people, especially from that generation, weren't really gamers.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she was a big gamer. So she had a Sega. So whenever me and my sister would go stay with them, we would play on the Sega as well, playing like Sonic and
Wow. That's
Tetris
dope.
and
That's
all
really
those like super old school games.
That's really dope.
But also played on like the original like PlayStation. I never really did any of the Nintendo consoles as much.
So no Super Nintendo, no
I played them, but I
Nintendo.
never owned them or anything. And I was never. It was like always one of those things I like played if I went to a friend's house or something like that.
Gotcha. Okay, fair enough. And then
Xbox.
OG Xbox.
Yep.
And then now you currently have an Xbox, I guess, One?
Right now, yeah. So right now, obviously, on my PC, right? I also have a Nintendo Switch, which I bought last September before I went on a 2-week vacation last September to California and to Alaska.
Yeah.
Which was super fun. But it was a lot. We drove through like all of California, all the way up to like Washington, Oregon, and then we took a cruise out of Washington into Alaska. So it was a lot of driving. So I bought a Nintendo Switch. I'm like, oh yeah, this would be great for the car ride. I played it a little bit in the car ride. There was honestly so many stops and so much to see that I didn't really play it too much. But I have not really played it since, to be honest.
I would love to have the Switch, but go on.
Yeah, I have like a handful of games for it, but I don't ever play it. Partially because I think Nintendo games are like really geared towards like multiplayer type games, and I haven't connected with anybody through that platform yet.
I think we have a few. We have a few viewers. I know Harget, and I know Neon also has. They both have Switch as well.
Yeah, Sharefly also.
Sharefly, there you go.
I think Deanna does.
Deanna as well. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
right.
true. Yeah.
So there's a handful of people that I follow and that we follow that.
It's just literally right in front of you. Yeah.
Yeah,
but that's the thing, like you
exactly.
never know, right? You never know. So.
That's it. One of the best things about this community, that everyone is probably into something that you're probably into as well. You just don't know until you ask them. Like we're playing. So I was playing Smash Bros and Mario Kart with Harget and Destiny Jaden last night, and me and Nuns just came off a chat. Was playing Stardew Valley, so feel free to join us.
That's true. That's true. That's you're absolutely spot on that. And I guess you mentioned that you did obviously think about streaming 4 years back, but you didn't really get into it till like this year, I believe. How you been finding it so far? Like how has that been can't even speak. How has the journey been so far in terms of like, starting it, going through the hurdles, setting everything up? How's that been for you?
Yeah, so honestly, it's been great. So I started streaming the July 9th, I think it was. The only reason I remember that day, because that was the first day I had started on PTO as well.
Gotcha,
Yep.
gotcha.
Yeah. So I started streaming early July, and the reason I started is because I thought it would be a lot of fun, and I wanted to meet people from the community because I'm a big gamer myself. Like I said, I have a Switch, I have a PC, I have an Xbox.
Yeah.
Eventually, I'll sometime get a PlayStation as well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of different platforms that I play on. But that's the reason I started streaming is to meet people, and I thought it'd be fun to connect with people. And honestly, that's my favorite part about streaming. If I didn't get one sub or one bit at all, like the rest of the time I streamed, that'd be fine with me, because it's more about meeting people from around the world. Like all three of you guys, like none of you guys live in the U.S. with me, but the only reason I was able to connect with you guys is because of streaming.
Yeah. No, that's true, and that's a fair point. No, sorry, I keep cutting you. Go on.
No, you're good, man. But yeah, I mean that's the number one reason I stream is to make friends with people around the world and see everybody's different backgrounds and just connect with people from around the world that have the same interests that I do. And like almost everybody I've connected with, like we share very similar points of view. We like similar games. Like it's all just a lot of fun to hang out with people and do different things with.
True. I mean, you guys you and Nons and Cherryfly and Witchy, but just had your first ever, community events. The Dodo was so, it's like you mentioned, being able to meet people and play games with them, whether it's doing special events or just playing casually. I think that's the beauty that each and every one of us all share, and that's the great thing about streaming. You get to have all this kind of different interaction occasions. So I know you mentioned 4 years ago that your mindset at the time was you saw streaming as maybe a potential as a side hustle kind of thing, earn some money on the side kind of thing. So what made you flip that around and say, you know what, that's not the mindset I should go into this. I should just look at it from just purely, like you said, meeting people, playing games with people, that kind of thing.
Yeah, honestly, I think it was just that was like 4 years ago. I think it was just a progression of myself and me from growing as a person, to look at it from different minds, a different perspective, really. I wasn't taking, 4 years ago I thought about doing it. I was like, this might be something that would be fun, but it was, at that point in time, it wasn't something I was looking at it from a serious standpoint either. Move that forward a few years, my mindset on streaming in general just changed. And
yeah,
I think just like I said, just growing for me as a person, just changing my mind on how to look at it and how to interact with people.
Yeah.
In that capacity.
Yeah. Okay. And when it comes to streaming, like, because I know we all have this challenge in terms of, okay, what should I stream? What kind of game should I stream? Do you have a formula for how you approach that particular challenge?
Yeah. I most of the time I play games based on what I like to play, because like if I go into somebody's stream and they're playing a game just to get viewers, like that's in there, but you can you can visually see that they're just like not into it at all, and they're
playing
just like,
Fortnite.
Oh my god, Fortnite, dude! I cannot do Fortnite. I am so bad at it. I tried playing it like a long time ago. I'm like, yep, I can shoot people, but I can't build too.
Like
I gotta
building
do one or the
a wall
other.
in under 1 second. If you can do that, nah, it's literally people building freaking buildings like monuments. It's like, what the hell is this game? Might as well play Minecraft then. I don't want to play Minecraft as well because I just can't do it. So
you don't have a creative bone in your body, do you, buddy?
That's not the reason why, because I turn everything up. Okay, that's not the point. Continue, offensive. I was rudely interrupted. Okay.
But yeah. So I mean, mostly I just play what I enjoy playing. But I also like my favorite games to play are the games that I've never played before on stream, or the games I've never played before in general. I like streaming those because it's just a raw feeling of emotion at that point in time. It's not like, oh, I know what's gonna happen next, ha ha ha, and I gotta pretend like I know. But
Lord.
playing the new games is really fun to me. So like when I played Blair Witch, that was my first time playing Blair Witch, and that was like my second and third stream. I think that might be the stream where I met you, Arrow.
Yes, I think
I
either
think
that
so.
or Dead Space. Either that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I played Visage a few weeks back too, and that was the first time I played Visage either. And like those games are scary. Visage was definitely scary. Of course, my chat was doing sound alerts at like half the time I was playing the game, so that was just as scary to me as it was playing the game.
Oh God.
But yeah, I really just play for the most part what I enjoy playing. I'm not gonna play a game just to get viewers, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I want to play what I enjoy playing, but also what I know people will actually want to watch too.
Yeah.
If there's a game I love, but nobody on Twitch is watching it, nobody's streaming, I'm like, maybe not the right game to play on stream.
That's again, that's a challenge. You can't find a game. Let's say for example, I play a lot of Overwatch. People know that already. If you don't know that, now you know. I play a lot of Overwatch. I could play that.
Everybody knows that.
I play that on stream every day. And I do stream it randomly. But at the same time, it's like there are loads of people streaming Overwatch, which, it's a very popular game. I get it. So I know that I'm probably going to be like, a pebble in this massive ocean.
Yeah.
So it's like when you're trying to find that balance as well. Plus, again, you want to not make sure, you want to give your viewers something a bit different to experience as well. So I definitely understand where you're coming from on that. So do you play anything different when you're not streaming in terms of like, okay, I will only play this off stream, or do you play exactly the same games that you play on stream as well as you do off stream?
Yeah, so to be honest with you, like ever since so I am going back to school for zoology, which is gonna kick my butt. So to be honest with you, I don't really have. I also have a full-time job, so between those two things and also streaming when I can, it takes a good portion of my time. So I don't unfortunately get a chance to stream a lot, or to play much games outside of that.
Okay.
Most of the time when I play games, I'm usually streaming them because of that. Because of the time issue there. Yeah. But like I was playing before I started streaming, I was playing Diablo 3 like a lot. I was playing that a lot.
Really? I didn't know you played Diablo 3.
No. What character? Who's your main?
So I got really into it like not during this season, but the season before. So I was playing as a wizard last season, and then this season I was playing as
Necromancer, Witch Doctor, Bounty Hunter, Crusader.
Wasn't what hunter? The Demon Hunter?
Demon Hunter. Sorry, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was
Man of culture, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, right here. He knows what's up. Thank you very much. Thank you. Carry on. Sorry, carry
on. But yeah, so because I saw that I was like, oh, okay, Demon Hunter looks super cool. I was already planning on playing him for the next season before I knew that they were upgrading or they were like buffing him. Mm-hmm. So I started playing as him. Played it pretty substantially. I got it up to like level like 3 or 6, 700 or something like that with him.
Wow.
Well, that was on Xbox, so I'm pretty fresh on PC. I don't even own it for PC yet, but I have a hard time buying it for PC when I know Diablo 4 is coming out here soon.
It's true. It's true. I mean, I thought
me and Arrow have both played Diablo to death on Xbox. I can't even remember the highest greater rift we got to with our builds. Like I think I started off as the Crusader I eventually jumped over to the Necromancer, but Femi was always the
Demon
bloody Demon Hunter.
Yes, indeed. She was
I mean,
fine.
it's-
She got the 2 bows.
Oh, you always got to play as the female characters too.
Obviously. Excuse. It's like, what else? What else would you play as?
I mean, you're a
is that-
wizard too. I mean, you play as you. Yeah, I mean, if you're playing as the male character, you're doing it wrong.
Oh,
Everybody knows the female characters are stronger.
Yes, this is true. This is
know
absolutely
this.
true. Yeah. That's. Why do you think I've been playing it all this time? You think it was for the booty? You know, no. Always because of the
Because
power.
they're stronger. 100%.
Yes.
I don't miss that game.
So tell us,
Moving on.
top 3 games. Look, it's a conversation. It's a couch conversation. We talk shit here. So if you don't know it, now you know.
Usually coming from me.
I am challenging. I'm challenging you within me right now. Speaking about games, do you have a top 3 of all time? We put all our guests on the spot right now. So
Oh.
fine.
5, 4, 3.
Usually
Wait,
not a countdown.
them.
This is
Too much
new.
pressure.
Not about this one.
If you give me a
But-
countdown, I'm just gonna blank out.
You can name a
Oh,
Pico
man.
game if you want to, mate. If you really want to.
What'd you say?
Pico game.
You can name one of your Sega Pico games if you want to.
I don't even remember what those were. Man, that's tough. That's real tough. Of all time, I love so many different types of games, and I'm a very much a variety streamer at that because I like so many games. I definitely don't play one genre at all, so it's
Same, yeah.
really hard to say like a top 3 because there's so many different types of games out there.
Yeah.
I know the Halo series would definitely be in top 3 for sure. I can't say it would be 1, 2, or 3, but it'd definitely be in top 3.
Okay.
Um,
You made somebody very happy right now, just so you know.
Speed scrubbing made me very happy last time.
yeah, he's come back and streamed a few times. I gave him shit the other day because he kept on dying, and when he was playing on normal, I'm like, dude, I gotta bring you on up to legendary with me and kick your butt.
Well, we actually have some news about that for all of you that are big fans of Halo. So make sure you stay tuned to the very end of the show. We have something spicy to announce. But yes, carry on.
I was a big fan of Witcher 3 as well, just because I think
Thank
the
you.
storyline was so good.
Nice. I haven't played that.
I
but
do
I've
need
heard
to
good
get into
things.
Witcher 3 or the Witcher series. I've never played them, and everybody raves on about them.
I know, dude.
I know. I'm not saying that I never play them because I think they're terrible game. Obviously, they're an awesome game because of the raving reviews. I think I might have to check it out.
Oh, you really should, man. There's like, it's been my number 1 game like since it came out in 2015. But yeah, if you've got the time to sink into a 200-hour game, do it because that
Dear
one's
Lord,
top
200
god tier
hours.
video game.
Dear Lord.
Well,
Yeah,
it's gonna be lockdown again, so I might as well.
Every one of the Witcher games are really good. Like, so Witcher 1, like obviously that came out like a real long time ago, and that whole style of gameplay in Witcher 1 is super old school. It's a different way of playing games than they are now. But so the gameplay, the combat was not great. I'll be honest, the combat was not great in Witcher 1. But the story was really good. The story's really good in all of them.
Yeah.
So they're absolutely worth playing.
Yeah. Okay. You have one more, or shall we save you and just say it's fine?
But Halo and
man.
Witcher so far.
Halo, which that's a pretty solid list though. Pretty
Yeah,
solid
man.
list. Pretty solid list.
I'm just happy somebody said Halo and Witcher, to be honest.
know-
Yeah. Are we talking about individual games, or are we talking about like series?
And it could be any. It could be a series. It could be, it could be any. It could be like the Halo series, the Witcher series. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys definitely put me on a spot there. I should have came prepared
You know
for
what?
this.
just say it. It's definitely Just Dance Revolution. Just say it. It's fine.
I mean,
fine.
that one was really up there, but I was also, Twitch Sings is out there now too, so I feel like that one may be up there for me as well.
God,
Twitch things.
please don't break your mic like Inner Punkness did when he was on Twitch Sings. Holy shit!
Oh my god, I saw that clip of him doing that. I'm like, how drunk were you?
I need to do that as well, though. It looks
I
hella
could really
fun.
miss that stream. I did hear that.
Oh, hey,
Yeah, he like
it's good.
he just dropped like mic dropped and just like broke in it because he
Oh,
picked it up and it
No,
didn't work anymore.
he held it that hard. He was getting into it really intensely, and he gripped it that hard. It broke in his hand.
Wow. Yeah, Lord.
It's brilliant.
Okay. Well, we'll let you off. We'll let you off. I think. Don't worry.
I
You're
do have
giving
to
us
say, Dead by Daylight is definitely up there.
Okay.
One of my
We'll take that.
favorites.
We'll take that. We'll take that.
Exactly.
Um,
I mean,
just real.
that's the beauty of these top tier games, isn't it? These top 3 games, is that when you ask certain people at different times, you could get a different answer. Like if you ask me,
Sure.
I'll probably give you a different
Oh.
answer to what I gave
Sure.
the last time. So
Very true.
I don't
Very
want
true.
Yeah,
Dead by Daylight's
100%.
a cracking game.
Oh yeah, Dead by
sure.
Daylight is one of those games that gets 15,000 viewers. So I, whenever I stream Dead by Daylight, it's definitely not one of those games I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get all these followers during this game or anything like that or all these views. I play literally just because I really enjoy Dead by Daylight.
Yeah. And then, I mean, that's the thing, though. As long as you're enjoying it, people gravitate towards that, So I think that's a good way to approach it. So just real quick, besides Cyberpunk 2077, assuming if you're looking forward to that game, is there anything that you're looking forward to in terms of unreleased games? Anything that you're like, oh, I can't wait to get my hands on this that's not yet out?
So the new Halo game I'm really excited for. With that supposedly supposed to be like the last one.
Yep.
But they said that after Halo 3 as well. So
Mm.
so I am looking forward to that one. I think 343 gets a lot of they get crapped on a lot for the last 2 games, but I think they had to do different than what Bungie did.
Yeah.
Just because of the different studio, they had to take the story in a different direction. But I actually like the last 2 Halo games. I think there was some parts in both those games that that weren't the greatest. But I mean, you could say that with the first 3 as well. So, but yeah, the next Halo game is something I'm definitely looking forward to playing. I've heard a lot of good things about Cyberpunk. I don't know a lot about it, but I've heard a lot of people are excited about that one. So that one might be one I check out. It's hard to say though because there's been with COVID and everything, a lot of things are being pushed back and or delayed or just generally dropped too.
Yeah.
Well, Cyberpunk is now went gold, hasn't it? That's now officially set in stone on the release date anyway.
Like, what does that mean anymore? Like, games gone gold. All it means is that they're ready to put a copy of their game onto a disc. They're going to spend the next whatever months working on it until it's released.
Well, it's already been pushed back 3 times now.
Yeah.
I keep saying just real quick so that we don't spend too long on this. I keep thinking that they should have just released it after the second pushback. Just release it. It might not be perfect, but just release it now.
This is the same guy who
much.
condemned them.
No.
them for bugs. The last time we spoke.
I'm just saying though, because the hype is you know the hype right now about this game, right? It needs to be picture perfect. Otherwise, they'll be like, why did I wait so long? You could just release it with all this XYZ bugs. That's where I'm just saying. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to play games with bugs. So I'm just saying though, the hype is out there. But
they've been in the sorry, just real quick. They've been in the news lately because they were David Schreier, whoever. He spoke to some people from the studio, and they've been working crunch. Like people hate crunch, but they've been working. That obviously their work week and Saturdays on top of that.
I heard about this.
They're working so much overtime, and they're getting shit from it.
I don't want to, but that's the thing. Like, sorry guys, why are they having to do this type of crunch work schedule? If it's just, let's say, tweaking a few things, that means were they behind?
All these game designers are hating you right now. Like, you don't understand what we do.
No. So it must mean that whatever it's either that maybe because the pandemic happened and then that's probably derailed a lot of maybe what they had, in terms of like milestones to hit, and that's probably why they're delayed. Because it just sounds like they are severely delayed for them to take that approach. Otherwise, it shouldn't be them having to make their people work weekends, which is fucked up. Hopefully they get super compensated for that.
So, they definitely are. I mean, that's one of the first things they said, that people have to opt into it and they will get paid for it. But still, I mean, I think they're just scared of delaying it again, really.
Would you be okay if they delayed it?
Yeah, I mean,
I think there's only so many times a game can get delayed.
yeah,
What
I mean, if they
happened to
delay it again,
us?
I think they're gonna
Why?
see
I'm
everybody
just
be
fed up.
pretty upset.
Yeah, yeah. All right, you know what? Sorry, we went on a tangent there, but again, this is how the conversation we go with the flow. So
You,
it's
you can't help it. I mean, Cyberpunk is probably going to be a big deal, and if I can worm that into a conversation, I will.
I mean, maybe one of those days we just have like a cyberpunk talk about it. Let me know how you feel session kind of thing.
We'll have a
Um,
post impressions once the game comes out. Spend an
that'll be
entire hour to it.
be
dedicated
good.
to it.
So there you have it, guys. Thank you for giving us your origin story authentic. Please don't run away. You still need it on the show. So we shall move on to the next segment. And just quickly to everybody in chat, thank you so thank you so much for being here and hanging with us and just listening to us ramble and whatnot. So we appreciate you. So cue the music. Wait, we didn't discuss about that. Sorry, this is awkward. Um,
I know exactly what
You can
music I wanna
dance all
play
you
now.
want.
I was
you know.
like, cue the MK
By all
music, you know, dun 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 dun. You know, yeah, you know, but like I forgot that I meant to tell you about that. I forgot about it. So there is new characters coming to MK11. Those of you that are big fans of the Mortal Kombat. Rambo, guys.
Go back to. I'll figure out that in a second.
Okay. Uh, okay, there we go. We're back. Sorry, we just had a bit of a technical issue with one of our scenes. Our magician behind is currently fixing it, doing his magician type things. He's doing something great. Don't worry.
Regardless,
So
Mortal Kombat looks sick. So
it does. It does. Ultimate, as I mentioned, is coming out November 17th. It's gonna come out with the base game, the expansion Aftermath, and Combat Pack 1 and 2. Now this will be coming to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, PC, and Stadia. So it's pretty much going to be on all of the platforms that we know about. And also, PS4 and Xbox One editions are getting the next gen patch for free. So I think this is one of the topics we've actually discussed about in our previous shows about how developers are handling next gen patches, and we've seen these guys do it in the sense of making it free. So the patch is going to have visual enhancements, 4K dynamic resolutions, signal reload load times, cross play and cross gen. So that means you can play. I can be on Xbox One, and Neon Demon can be on the Xbox Series X, and I can play with him, kick his ass. Great. So, And also, if you pre-order the MK11 Ultimate, you would also get an additional Time Warrior skin pack, which includes Dark Web, Noob Cyborgs. This probably is your jam, I think, Neon.
Absolutely. Love my boy.
Halt and Catch Fire, Liu Kang. Why does that sound familiar? Is that from the TV show on Netflix? It is from the TV show Netflix. Halt and Catch Fire. There's a TV show on Netflix called Halt and Catch Fire. Anyway, and Blood Moon Scarlet. So that's sorry, I just had that pop up in my hand. And also in the collector's edition of the Ultimate, there's gonna be a Sub-Zero mask bust, exclusive steel case, commemorative magnet coin, authenticity plate, and exclusive DLC. And the price for this collector's edition for the Ultimate version is going to be $229 or pounds. So it's pretty much the same price. It's a lot, but you're getting quite. It's a lot though. Well, you're getting a lot for it. You're getting all the the combat packs. You're getting the DLCs. You're getting all this cool additional things. So I think it's if you're a big fan of it, definitely something that would catch your eye. Yeah.
Say what you want about like collector's editions in general with video games, the quality of the items that come with it, but NetherRealm, their items, they have like been top tier. Like there's been a fair few out there have just been cheap plastic, but they know how to do collector's items. I mean that they're from their MK9 to MK10 and MK11. Like when they first launched MK11, it was the scorpion mask burst, which was absolutely beautiful, which I couldn't get because
really
sold out so quickly. Yeah, and that's the one thing. Like I don't normally spend that much on a video game. Well, I don't as a rule, but that item in particular is it's a collector's item for sure.
I would have been jelly if you got it. I'm not gonna lie. I'd have been super jelly.
I would have flaunted it, man.
I know you would have, which would have made me pissed as well. Especially like if you win a game, you just show me the mask as well. You're like, oh look at my mask, I'm Scorpion.
I've never done that. What would you say?
I just imagine you do it. This is because that's what I'll do anyway. I'm just
what you need to imagine is just me kicking your ass. That's what you need
that
to
is hard to imagine though, right?
Thank
very
you.
hard.
Thank you. You see, finally someone knows the truth. And you know what? Authentic. Are you a big fan of Z fighting games? And secondly, are you a big fan of MK?
I played like Soul Calibur many years ago. I played Super Smash Bros. I have played Mortal Kombat when I was in like elementary school or whenever like the really old ones were.
That's a long time ago. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. It's been a long time. I played Tekken. One of my favorite games, and you guys may or may not know it. It was on the original PlayStation. It was called Bloody Roar.
Bloody Roar 3. Bring you up the new age. Yes, I love that game.
I like Bloody Roar.
Bloody Roar was one of my favorite fighting games. I just thought it was super cool how you could like play as one character and then transform into like an animal or something like that.
Yeah.
That's one of the games I really wish they would bring back. Because I thought that game had such a cool dynamic around those like fighting style games, and because none of the other ones like do have transformations like that.
Do you know who made that? The developer behind Blood Roar, is that Capcom by any chance?
I want to say it was Capcom. I could be wrong.
Was it not Activision? Konami? Or was it Konami? Activision?
Oh, maybe Konami.
Hudson Soft.
Konami.
Apparently.
Oh, yeah, sounds right.
Konami as well, yeah. So Konami is in there, as the publisher, one of the publishers, and Activision, yeah.
1997, the first one came out.
That is crazy.
I was 7 years old when I probably played that earlier than I should have done.
it was an aggressive fighting game too, because I mean there was definitely blood in it. There was it was aggressive. I mean not nothing like what Mortal Kombat is, but for when you compare it to like Tekken and like Soul Calibur, it was very different. It was like in between a Mortal Kombat and like a Tekken style game.
Yeah.
But it's definitely one of my favorite games. I mean, definitely, I would put that over, Soul Calibur and Tekken for sure.
Mm-hmm. So you see,
my first Tekken game was Tekken 3. At the top of my head.
Oh, nice.
That was the first one that I played the other two, but before that, I know there's a lot more. I think that's where I stopped. I think Tekken 4 was the last game I kind of played. Yeah,
Join
that's when I
us.
kind of dropped off the second Mortal Kombat, Tekken, all the bloody Raw type games. So
Yeah.
I need to get back into it. I need to kick somebody's ass.
Yeah,
Well,
it's been a real long time for me since I played any of the fighting games. Honestly, like a real long time.
but with the
I never did much.
announcements-
I never did much Mortal Kombat though. That was one of those games that I never owned. That I only played if I went to like a friend's house, and that was only like probably a couple times that I played it.
Gotcha. But with the announcements of Rambo, the man, the legend, does this entice you to maybe check it out?
I almost got Mortal Kombat, the previous one before when it came out when it launched on Game Pass. I almost downloaded it and then I didn't.
Really?
The only reason I didn't actually buy that one because I actually thought about buying it. The only reason I didn't buy it because I felt like after a while of me just playing by myself, it would get boring after a while.
Yeah.
But if so that, I mean that's the only reason I didn't buy it when I like especially when it went on sale because I went on sale for like half off for quite a while. So I almost bought it during then, but I'm like, I could play it. It'd be a lot of fun for like a few hours, and then I was like, okay, well I'm just fighting the AI person. It's a lot of fun.
It's the same. Like I would only play any fighting game. I have fighting games, but I would only play them if I'm playing against someone.
Yeah.
I know Neon Demon plays the story. I'm like, look, unless there's somebody I have to whoop right now, I'm not booting the game up, and that's it. Unless I want to maybe try some moves or whatever. But yeah, I completely understand.
Mortal Kombat 9, 10, and the start of 11. I think I only played those exclusively with you. I can't imagine. I don't even remember playing online, but obviously kicking your ass was enough to.
You need to stop lying to the Twitch audience. You need to stop lying. It's not good. You feel better.
We need an ATF fight.
Fight night.
Kombat. Yeah, and I'll be the ref or just the, and I'll be the judge.
Can you imagine if I win this? Somehow,
you would have to imagine it.
Somehow,
You'd have to imagine it.
I like the shit talk. This is great. Well, guys, for those of you that are big fans of the ATF channel, you have it. You've heard it here first. It's going to happen. 101, myself and Neon Demon finally setting the score.
We are never going to set that score. This is how.
No. You see, excuse. Look at that. There's
no excuse.
Excuse.
When you've been shit talking Mortal Kombat since we first met,
and now
that was God knows how many years ago.
And now it's going to end. Okay, it's going to end live on Twitch. It's probably never going to end. It's true. It's probably never going to end.
As long as they keep making combat games, it'll never end.
Yeah, I know. Just gonna pass it on to you, Nance. I know you said that you played the Tekken 3, that you've sort of dropped off, fighting games. MK, have you ever dabbled in MK at all?
Oh God, the very first, I think, first one or two, pretty much because all I used to play was Sub-Zero. God,
good lad.
I can't remember the last one I played. Actually, it's been that long. But again, it was like Tekken 2, 3. More Kombat, like maybe 1 or 2 or something like that. I cannot remember off the top of my head. It's been many years. I'm just no good at it. I know I'm not very good at a lot of games.
So.
Oh my gosh! You know what? We may have to move up from the segment because someone's getting very.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I will do. I will get this game. I can't promise I'll get the combat pass, even though I do like. I would love to play Rambo out of all characters. Yeah. And I'll practice, and we might have a little bit of a. I'll be the underdog. Okay. Hopefully the underdog wins. You know.
I'll be fine with that.
Maybe we should get a bracket going.
Ooh, yeah.
I'll show you the ropes, Adam. Well, I'll show you how to prevent Femi's shin spamming.
Look,
that's how
all history remembers who wins and who loses. They don't remember how they won or how the person lost. It's all about the dubs and the wins. Okay, that's all that.
I see. Okay, we'll find out.
It's a great time to jump into it because it's because I was talking to during his stream. He was playing Dragon Ball Fighter Z, and because we were talking about playing it then, and it's like £7 for the base version of it right now. So definitely pick it up.
Definitely a good time to jump in.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
sit
On CD keys.
on
that
CD
is.
keys, yeah.
I think the last fighting game I played was Dragon Ball. Was it Xenoverse? Is that right?
Oh, yes.
Well, they made a few.
I
of
know
those.
I know there's one before Z Fighters Kakarot, which is more of a
Yeah,
story.
that one came out after Xenoverse. So
Yeah,
I
I think it's Xenoverse, yeah.
Yep, I played both those ones, which 2 is literally the same exact thing as the first one is. So that was dumb on their part, but that was that was a lot of fun. I mean, I think that's kind of because they did well, so I think that's kind of what led them into doing like Kakarot.
Yeah. Well, Cherryfly is gonna referee for us, which is great. So that way, it's gonna be not biased in any way. Cherryfly, I'm gonna holler at you later on, okay? So Scott, given that you're equally passionate about MK as I am, when you heard about this, tell me your initial reaction.
The first character was Melina. My first reaction was a relief, because I've been following Ed Boon on Twitter for the longest time. He's a great Twitter follower, and he's been pestered for so long about Melina. It's become a joke, and I no longer have to see those I want Melina now tweets, which is great. But I mean, I don't particularly care about Rambo. I mean, I don't care about Melina. As a fighter, I just don't see. He's known for shooting guns. I don't really understand how that would translate, but I'm interested to find out. I'm gonna get it regardless because I love Mortal Kombat. But my boy is back. Rain is back.
I was actually wondering that too, though, because Rambo. I mean, he's definitely a badass, but he is definitely known for like shooting guns and like killing everybody with the guns, and like he's definitely done some like hand-to-hand combat and stuff like that. But you throw him in there with a whole bunch of fighters that have like superpowers and stuff like that. It's like, how does Rambo like correlate to this?
If you think about it, yeah, we have Sonya Blade and Cassie Cage, right? They shoot guns. I mean, they have special powers. They have like but
they're very kicky characters.
They're very yeah. But Rambo, don't forget, Rambo is like what do you call it? He's a Green Beret, so he's like top of the top. So he definitely knows CQC, right?
Oh right,
So,
but he's definitely
You
not
don't
like.
see
I
it.
mean, he's
He's not
definitely a
known for
badass, but
because he's holding 2 fucking Tommy guns. What do you? Why does he need to use a hand when he can just go like this? It's...
All right, we'll see. We'll see what he looks like.
So he's definitely a badass, but he's also known for like his stealth abilities too. Like in every game, he has like super like awesome stealth kills. Like I just don't know how that translates well to a fighting game like that.
The way I look at it, yeah, it's like if I am Rambo, I can hold and land to air missile on my shoulder and kill people with it. Why do I need to use my hands?
I do wonder if they only wanted Rambo in it so they could get a fight together. Rambo versus the Terminator. Sly versus Arnie.
That would be great though, dude.
I'm surprised the Terminator's not in it, honestly.
That would be great. Yeah. He's in there.
No, he is in it. Yeah, he was in the last combat. Yeah. He was in the last combat pass. Yeah.
Isn't RoboCop in there as well?
RoboCop's in there as well.
Yes.
In the 90s. Yeah.
I think we have some other pop culture references and other characters. Who else again? I think RoboCop, Terminator.
Terminator. God, I'm drawing a blank now.
I don't remember, but they usually like even in the last one we had MKX. They had Jason Voorhees.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Hoff wasn't in there.
Who?
The Hoff coming in, he's Knight Rider. Hasselhoff.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That would be amazing.
That would be great.
Kung Fury, you know what I mean? Jesus.
I mean, who have we got? We've got they bought Sindel back. They bought the Joker. Shang Tsung, Spawn, my boy. Is it Nightwolf? Was that his name? Nightwolf. I get mixed up between the one in Mortal Kombat and Killer Instinct because they're the same character.
I think it's. Oh shit! I have the same problem right now as well. Something with a wolf. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you have it, guys. We have some exciting stuff coming for the MK11 game. So those of you that are looking to jump in, it's a great time to do so. Again, it's cheap as chips on CD keys. All right, moving right along. PlayStation gave us the closet look at the PS5 and its design. So there's a video that was released.
Closet look. Didn't realize it was just coming out of the closet now. Okay.
Apparently, that's what is in the brief. A closer look.
Closest, man. It says closest. Believe you really
All right,
like
then.
that.
We're
should
getting
stop.
the inside the closet look.
Probably should not be in the brief. Or you know what? It's fine. So
He read
video.
what he wanted to read.
A video came out by the VP of Mechanical Design, Yoshiro Otori, at Sony, and he disassembled the entire console right down to the circuit board, presenting an in-depth look of the PS5. So basically, I think there were lots of tweets being sent out to, and this is probably a meme now, about the PlayStation 4 sounding like a freaking jet engine or a jet plane about to take off. So what they have obviously done is to put enough of their resources to make sure that that's not the case, to make sure that the PS5 sounds pretty much silent as possible, and by letting us see the innards of the PlayStation 5, those people that are really into their technicalities and whatnot could actually see, okay, this is how it's built, this is how it's been stacked and whatnot. So we really got a closer look into sort of how it's all stacked together and how it looks and whatnot. So we know that the PS5 will support expandable storage. We know that it will support backwards compatibility with, I guess, all PS4 games, if I'm not mistaken. And majority of PS4 games, okay. Also, some games will be released on both the PS4 and PS5 at the same time. I'm guessing again there might be some PS4 games that will get a next gen patch so that they can obviously look even more.
It does appear to be on a case by case basis.
By case, gotcha.
The messaging behind it is a bit confusing.
Okay. And then the game installation will be more configurable. That's all down to how the SSD works. So players will be able to delete single player campaign, for example, without removing the multiplayer. So if you want to make a bit of space, you're like, I don't want to take away, that progress I made a single player. I can just delete the multiplayer parts of it. I can. So that's actually a pretty cool feature. I've never seen that.
Kind of Call of Duty's doing it right now with Warfare and then multiplayer and stuff like that. It'll be very, very handy for like PlayStation 5 when that finally releases, because the hard drive isn't as big. Same for the Xbox. You'll easily fill that terabyte.
Okay. Game sizes should be smaller, at least better optimized. Well, tell that to Call of Duty with their freaking updates every freaking.
Oh my god!
I had to actually do that. I had to remove that.
The first time I installed Call of Duty, it was around about 100 gig, and it went up to 2. Well, I thought myself, you know what? I was planning to play with a couple of friends, and I went, okay, I'll get in, let it install 120 gig. I thought it was going to be roughly. I think last time I checked, I'll install that within like an hour or two. So went to download it, 230 gig, and I was like, I ain't playing that tonight.
No way. Ridiculous though. It's crazy. So, but I don't know. Maybe perhaps I think it's all the updates that are coming out for the game, and trying to balance things and whatnot. But it's anyway. But let's see what happens going forward. But yes, game sizes should be smaller, at least better optimized. Due to again, this is the only solution with the PS5s, and PS5 will have some form of cloud functionality. Not exactly sure what that would look like. I don't think we have any information.
I don't think they know, to be honest.
Okay. Like, by the way, it's gonna be some kind of cloud thing, but we're not sure. Don't worry about it. It's gonna be there. So there's that. We don't know. We don't have any information yet, so stay tuned for that. It's also been confirmed PS5 accessories, including a charge station for up to 2 DualSense controllers, a Pulse 3D wireless headset, a media remote, and a HD camera with dual 1080p lenses. So I guess again, for those people that are going to be streaming directly from their PlayStation, they can do it looking muy bien. PS5 Psvr support with the current headsets has been confirmed. You have VR, right? Both you and Neon and Nuns, right?
Yes.
So this PSVR, that's going to be
PSVR's already been out. I mean, I think they're just
like an update to it.
Okay.
yeah.
But does that come with its
It's
own
just support.
hardware?
Yeah, you get a headset.
Yeah.
Well, it's a headset slash the controllers and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a separate bit of hardware that you got to buy. It doesn't. PS5 isn't going to be released with the PSVR. It's just compatible with it because
Okay.
PSVR is already out with PS4. So yeah, it's just going to be compatible with that.
Gotcha.
As far as we know, we think it's just the latest iteration of the PSVR because they have released 2 SKUs of it,
Yes,
and I
that's
believe
right,
the
yeah.
first one had its own little. Because I think you could only use it on the PlayStation Pro unless you had. I can't remember if you had an extra thing. I don't remember, but yeah, there's 2 SKUs, and as far as we know, only the latest one is compatible.
Gotcha. The PS5 home screen will be more dynamic. So I guess players or people can sort of move through different elements, such as displaying available missions or allowing players to select their activity in real time, so people can see what they're currently playing. So yeah, I think all of this specs or what's coming into the PS5. And again, there are more details about it. So those of you that are really looking for that technical information is out there. So make sure you check it out. Come to your own decision about whether it makes sense for you or whatnot. But just looking at what they've released in terms of like letting us see the innards of the PS5, I'm gonna jump to you, Nuns, because I know you love the nitty gritty. What do you think about the specs you've seen so far?
Like it's like I said, the Xbox Series S is really hard to build a PC for that price for that sort of power. It is going to be the same even for the PS5. I mean them specs there are they've designed obviously the SSD around the PS5. I mean it's custom. I think was it? Oh, there it says there actually 825 gig SSD.
Yeah.
For me, I mean 825 gig. That's a weird number to come out with, but they've designed it around the PS5, and the speed is supposedly going to be second to none. It's just going to be unbelievable. And again, they're all Tempest 3D audio tech. That is something to listen to. That is something I'm really interested in.
Okay.
But yeah, they're all running the AMD Radeon RDNA 2, both Xbox and PS5. The RDNA, the Gen 3 has just been released. Sorry, just been spoke about the other day. Again, it's going to be a while till that actually comes out. But yeah, it's got 8 cores, 16 threads, 3.5 gigs, which I think the Xbox is going to be running slightly higher. The PS5 can boost higher than the Xbox, but can only boost, so it's not going to be a constant speed, where the Xbox will be a constant 4 or 3.5. I'll do my research a bit more.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the specs are looking very good, very, very good. But
Okay.
again, did you see the size of the PS5? It is a thick boy.
Do you want to?
Either that guy was very
beast.
small, or
Yeah. Holy shit! It is. Yeah, I do like it how the way they've took it apart. They've really designed it well. It clips apart. There's not many screws. They've got dust extract places on there, and the fans in a good position. It looks a really well designed kind of bit of kit, even though it does look like a Virgin Media router. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my takeaway from this was, holy shit, that heatsink is massive, and I'm so glad that the white sides clip off, because it's going to allow for so much customization, and that's what I kind of miss from the past
The
gens.
360. I mean, the 360 had that
with
as
the
well
faceplates.
with the faceplate. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And I
I
was
mean, the
changing
D
mine every
brand,
month.
you can put skins on them. That'll be awesome. Easier to put skins on them. You might be able to get them powder coated, so you might be able to have it any color you want instead of just completely taking the whole console to bits. Where with the Xbox you would have to take the whole chassis to bit to get the case off, etc. Where there's so much customization options, like Scott said. You just take the sides off, go and get them painted or paint them yourself. Put different skins on, get them etched, you name it, you can do it because it's so easy to take off. So
Well,
that's very
honestly,
interesting.
too, Yeah, honestly too, I think the PlayStation 5, just like the look of the PS5 looks really nice. It looks really nice and sleek. And it looks like a next gen console. Where you look at the Series X, right, and it's literally just a box. Like I saw the release thing, I'm like,
you're in the
oh,
wrong.
man,
I think you're in the wrong chat here to talk shit about the,
No,
the
we like
Xbox.
Oh no. So I'm excited for the Series X, and I think it will definitely be the better console, the stronger console out of the two of them. Just based on some of the specs I've seen between the two. But the look of the Series X and also the name is horrible. Because
I mean, to be fair, it is called the Xbox.
Well, yeah, but you also have your Xbox One X, right? And now your next gen following the X, because that was the last console that's out, right? So you have the Xbox One X. Now you follow that up with the Series X. From a consumer standpoint, it is very confusing because if you look at it, you're gonna have these moms, these dads, these grandparents that don't really know much about these consoles, buying for their kids sometimes. Like, hey, I want to come here and buy the Xbox One X. Okay, well, I got 2 consoles. Which one? Oh, I don't know. Great.
I mean,
no,
that's kind of the beauty of it, really. That's kind of the beauty of it because for the next couple of years, both consoles, both tiers of consoles, will still be able to run first-party titles and third-party titles. The only difference is the price. I mean, if you want 4K, you're in that category of what 4K is, why you're going to spend that extra money. But no, I see what you're saying. I mean, it is confusing. I think iPhone has kind of led the way with that kind of messaging, though. I think that's why Xbox has adopted it. It's because they've got these iPhone S, 5S, 5 whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you know what they are, I don't know if you guys have read the news this week, but Xbox has got a partnership with GameStop. It doesn't really make any difference for us in the UK, but
that surprises me.
Yeah, I mean, I think it might be their last lifeline, to be honest.
It is 100%. Definitely agree.
So, I mean, the part of that that deal is that Microsoft will supply them with the background stuff, like the logistics, like the tablets, anything behind the scenes, and in return they'll be promoting Xboxes a bit more, having them as a forefront console. So I think, in terms with mothers, I mean, it is confusing. There's no two ways about it. Series X, I mean, we get mixed up all the time, don't we? But I think anybody who's a fanatic, really, straight off the bat, they'll know. Until the old consoles are phased out, which they eventually will. I think it's going to be a bit tricky for moms and grandparents going in, not knowing what the hell they're doing. They'll have to rely on the people in store to get the item that they want for their little one.
Yeah. Just real quick. No, go on, Atlantic.
Oh, I was just gonna say, so like the look of it, like I think in Microsoft designed the Xbox once the Series X around exactly what Sheriff Fly was saying, is that they don't want it to stand out. So I think that's kind of why they made it, instead of going from like the white colors they had with the Xbox One S. To going back to black and making it more like a box to make it look more like kind of like exactly to make it look more like books on your shelf type of thing, where it's not one of those things that stands out with this fancy design, kind of like what PS5 is. So it's interesting that both Sony and Microsoft went in 2 totally different directions with the look of their consoles. So I'm curious to see what the public ends up liking more by the end of the lifespans for these consoles.
I mean, it's different though, isn't it? So PS5 it is completely different to the PS4, and it's a bit like Tesla. Look at their cars, completely different. People first of all going, "Oh, hang on, that way out there. It's a bit too much like their Tesla truck." But then people are growing on it. People think, "Oh, this is the way the future is," type thing. People are starting to like it a lot more. PS5, I think's the same. When I first saw the PS5 pictures get released, I was like, "Oh, that doesn't look very good." But then again, you're getting closer images, closer looks at it, that sort of thing, and it's not too bad. Like Sherfly said, that it's just going to get put on a shelf. Yeah. In most cases, that is. Then again, I quite like mine to be not exactly centerpiece, but out there, kind of a bit of a show off type thing, because I like the look of. I mean, I know it's not much to look at the Series S. It's not Series S. Say exactly, Xbox One S. And even the Series S, that's obviously going to be slightly smaller. Well, it's a lot smaller actually. I think it's half the size of the PS4, if I remember rightly. But yeah, I quite like the look of consoles. I like to kind
Exactly.
of set up my desk, so things are popping out and you can take a look at them.
If
Yeah.
you look
Yeah,
at
I do like
Microsoft
the
too,
PS5.
oops, sorry. If you look at Microsoft too, the way they've always marketed like the Xbox Ones since launch is for it to be a multimedia platform and not necessarily a gaming console. So I think that's kind of the mindset that they still have is when they went through the design with this one, where Sony has always they've never said it was a multimedia platform. They've always designed around gaming
For the
first as their first
gamers,
priority.
yeah.
Exactly. So I think that you see that coming through in the designs this time around.
But if
Yeah,
you think,
you're right.
and just real quick, because that was the mindset before. Like they were trying to do this. It's not just the gaming console; it's everything. And I think
Yep.
by doing that, they lost a core. They lost their way. And I think with Phil Spencer now, he's actually saying, you know what, we're all about the games first, games first. So just wanted to just touch on that because that was true. That was where they were going before. They were doing so many things. I can't remember like they were having their own TV service or whatever, and it was just losing so much.
Yeah.
Where PlayStation was all about just straight up games, 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 games.
Well,
So
Microsoft put out a lot of like things when Xbox One first launched too. Before it launched, they put out a lot of like questionnaire type things, like hey, would you rather would you want this? Would you want this? And people took it as like, oh well, they're actually gonna do this, and it gave them like a lot of like bad marketing for it too. I mean, that's why you saw the PS4 like launch off the charts in comparison to like the Xbox Ones when they first came out. Plus, they also dropped the ball with having the Kinect built in, which was charging them more than what the PS4 was. That was a super dumb design or decision on their side, so that didn't help them at all. But I remember there was a lot of things like it's funny now that they have discless consoles now because back then they talked about doing that, and people are like, oh no, I don't want that.
no
at
way.
all.
Now it's like
I would never do
Same with
that.
game
Yeah.
sharing. I mean,
It's true.
that's the
Exactly.
thing. That's happening now. I mean,
It's
I
true.
game share and I save so much money by doing that.
Mhm.
So it's amazing how things have come around.
It's
Exactly.
just like I guess people were not ready for it then, and now it's like this is the way it is.
I think it was just messaged all wrong.
Message
back
wrong.
then.
Yeah,
it
it's
was.
true. It's true.
Everything
It's true.
they did. Don Matrick. I mean, there's a reason we don't hear his name anymore because he royally screwed the pooch for the Xbox launch.
The marketing at the launch was really bad. Because the console wasn't bad in comparison like the PS4. Like similar consoles, similar strength. I mean, one had better one console had something better here versus what the other one had. So I mean, just like now, right? They're both very similar consoles. And at the end of the day, you're gonna buy the console with what your friends have.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why people buy consoles nowadays.
True.
So the marketing for the Xbox One when it launched was just so bad. So it's definitely very different this time around. It has definitely a different feel, different look to it this time around.
Yeah. No, carry on.
Sorry, I was just going back to the breakdown of the console. You can kind of see like both companies are doing things very differently. Going off what Authentic says as well. I mean, look at how they both approach their expandable storage.
Yep.
Xbox, you have memory cards. You guys remember memory cards?
Mm-hmm.
So they're back. You just plug it in the back. Annoyingly, this is one thing that I want to watch this video. I was like, well, that's stupid. You have to take your console apart to change your SSD. I mean, that's a bit of a faff. I hope it doesn't void the warranty by doing that. But it's just
He did say the
one
warranty
of those
sticker,
things.
though, right? He did say the warranty sticker. He took that off.
I can't remember at what point
before you
that
got
was,
to the SSD. No, it was before you got the SSD. Yeah.
What I read
that is something.
What I read too is that you can still use external drives if you want to.
Yeah.
Just the internal ones.
It's got a high speed. It's got Type C port now, which is I think it's Type C.
You won't be
10
benefiting
gigabytes per second now.
from that. You're benefiting from that next gen gameplay. I mean, I think Xbox, you can't play any of these Series X games on an on a normal hard drive. It has to be through their
Oh, on the Series X, games.
I mean,
you have to
look into it.
Like Destiny 2 and stuff like that. Your HD, and your hard drive, external.
Look at Type C ports now. It's got. I mean, previously they didn't have Type C ports, which couldn't get the 10 gigabits per second. Well, sorry, Super Speed ports, I think, but they weren't on there. But now they've got USB 3 and Type C, which is 10 gigabits per second. And again, that's roughly what. Well, some SSDs run at. So I would like to maybe do a bit of research into that, see if you can play next gen games on an external Type C external hard drive.
I wonder if,
as it stands right now, you can't. It's just the internal and the external MVE cards you plug in. You can rotate. You can store the games on an external, whether that's an SSD or a HDD. You can store them there, but you'd have to rotate them around. But it's the same with PlayStation.
Fingers crossed they'll come up with an update. Fingers crossed. That would be good.
Just before we move on, Authentic, in terms of console, and this I'm going to keep this super quick. In terms of console, are you planning to buy the Series X or PS5, or are you planning to get both?
S.
X or S?
So I'll definitely do the between the two of them. My first one will definitely be the Series X. I may get a PS5 at some point in time, or I may do like a PS4 when they get down the line a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, my first one will definitely be the Series X.
Gotcha.
Awesome.
Okay. So I know we talked about this on the previous show. So we're sort of seeing how people are sort of gearing towards what type of console they're going to get first and whatnot. Yeah. Okay. So again, for those of you that are super interested in seeing how the PS5 looks, it's out there. Have a look and make your mind about what you think about it and whatnot. So I think we can do the last segment, or shall we just move on?
An hour 25. I think we should move on.
Okay.
Honestly.
I'm gonna pass it off to Adam. Give us some good news.
Oh, okay. No, we can talk about the next segment if you want. Don't pass it on me. Yeah, I mean, I'll try and skip over. It's been an hour 25. Don't want to keep anybody any longer. Like Authentic, he's a busy man.
Oh, you're good, man. You're good. Take your time. I got nothing going on for me today, so.
Yeah, just notable stories, free games, sales, new releases, the best bits. So Get Out and Black Panther actor Daniel Kaluuya stars in this live-action Xbox Series S and X trailer. We will post a link later on, which looks fantastic. I'll tell you, I'll do that now. The Medium, Xbox Series X and S PC exclusive launches 10th of December 2020. I'm looking forward to that. That's a game I will be picking up. Amazon's free-to-play team shooter Crucible is shutting down on November the 9th.
Oh, Lord.
Just months after its official launch on May 20th.
Isn't that the time travel one? Was it not?
No, you're thinking of Hyperscape.
Yeah,
No.
Hyperscape, yeah.
It was the... I remember this. Oh, okay, never mind. Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember this one. Okay, yeah. Sorry, go on. Yeah.
That's unfortunate and funny at the same time. Yeah. Anyway, Microsoft is reportedly working on a direct browser-based solution that will allow it to bring its cloud gaming services, previously known as Project xCloud, to iOS and iPad OS devices in 2021, which would be fantastic. Because at the moment, it's not available because of Apple's big hammer going, no, you are not allowed this on. That would be fantastic, because hopefully that would be able to work on anything at the end of the day.
Yeah, that surprised me.
Yeah, that did surprise me as well. So Square Enix's Outriders has been delayed to the 2nd of February 2021. That is on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. PC is Steam and Epic. However, it will support a complete cross-play experience and will offer free upgrades to next gen. Yay, free upgrades, we like that. That's what everybody should be doing.
That's a shame that I was looking forward to that, but go on.
Yeah. I've seen quite a bit of it.
We'll be busy with Cyberpunk, mate. I wouldn't worry too much.
Yeah, that's true.
Good points.
Free games, PS4 Plus, games for October is Need for Speed Payback. Yes. And again, still Vampire. Games with Gold and for October is Slayaway Camp Butcher's Cut, available from the 1st to the 31st of October. And Made of Sker is available from the 16th till the 15th of November.
I wonder if that's just gonna be console. If that's gonna be PC as well.
Ooh, I'm not sure about that. We've never really looked at.
I
Stop asking
think-
questions we
I
haven't got
think-
answers to.
no,
Stop it.
That's Xbox and Xbox 360, I believe.
Is it? Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy. It ends on the 15th of October. And Costume Quest is available from the 16th to the 31st of October.
Ooh.
So that's some nice games there. Free with Epic Game Store is still Abzu, which is free from not still. It is just came out from the 8th of October till the 15th, so you haven't got long left for that. I think 4 days
Thursday? Yeah, Thursday.
Thursday. Rising Storm 2 Vietnam, free from the 8th till the 15th. And Amnesia from the 15th till the 22nd of October. Amnesia, I already have. I really need to start streaming that. A Machine for Pigs, sorry.
Man.
That's
good,
the,
That was the last one they did.
Was it?
I'm pretty sure it was the last Amnesia game they made, yeah.
Right. Notable new releases is Baldur's Gate 3. That released on the 6th of this month. And Star Wars Squadrons, which was released on the 2nd of this month. 2 great games that you should go.
Yes, indeed. I have my eye on Baldur's Gate. I've seen gameplay of
So do
Star
I.
Wars Squadron.
Yeah.
But
Path of Exile is something I've had my eye on for a little while now. And also Baldur's Gate. I'm quite interested in picking that up.
I've been playing Baldur's Gate since the 6th, and it's very heavily based on Divinity. It was made by the same guys behind Divinity 1 and 2, but obviously it's in the Dungeons and Dragons universe, which is kind of overwhelming for me because I've not really been close to that universe yet. But game is fantastic. It's still early access, but I can't.
Yeah,
I
that's
can't
right,
wait
yeah.
to-
I've been hearing a lot of like issues with it in terms of like it takes a lot of your GPU, or is it something like it's very it consumes a lot.
I don't have any problems with it at the moment.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
I mean, I've not streamed with it yet, so I don't really know too much in that respect.
Gotcha.
But I mean, I'm playing everything on ultra high. So and I'm running a 20 same GPU as you, 2060 Ti. So
I haven't touched it. Yeah, I haven't touched them. So okay, nice.
Awesome.
Well,
So wrapping up.
some fantastic games there, guys. You know, whether it's free ones or the ones that are currently out, go check them out.
Many free ones.
Yeah, definitely got the free ones. So we had a spicy announcement to make before we actually wrap up. So the Above the Fold channel will have its first ever Let's Play on Friday, the 16th, which is next week. We shall be doing some Halo. I mean, we will be shooting each other in the face. The pew-pews will be happening. I think we're doing Halo 3, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, I mean, we have all the Halos.
Yeah, we have the Halos.
Yeah,
So yeah,
Master Chief Collection. So yeah.
yeah. So we have it on PC. We're playing on PC currently. I know that B Scrubbing, Authentic, I believe Co's in Trouble, as well as Social Lit have showed interest, and I'm pumped about it. So if you ever wanted to shoot me or Neon Demon or Nuns and proceed to teabag them vigorously as well, this would be probably your chance to do so. It's gonna be great.
I'm going after you. That's my first kill.
Look, dude, just let you know, I am. Why? What?
I don't know. You give the best reactions. You scream louder than everybody else does.
Don't shoot me. So yeah, it's gonna happen on Friday. If you want to be part of it, make sure you are in the ATF Discord so you can join us. It's gonna be happening Friday. I think we haven't said what time exactly, but make sure
we'll put that out near the time.
Yeah. Make sure you're following the Twitter, which is Above the Fold _1. Yes. So make sure you're following that so that you can get all the spicy news. So sharpen your blades and clean out your guns because it is going down.
Do I need to start preparing a team here, or are we doing like a free for all?
Oh, it's me versus everybody else. So that's fine.
So it's going to be over in seconds.
Come at me.
You get your
There's
Rambo
nothing
going
stopping us
on.
really from
Yes,
doing
yes.
all kinds of things, really, is there? I mean, we've got what Tower of Power. Remember, we've got Shotty Snipes.
Oh my god, yes.
Exactly,
Tower
shot
of Power
the
is my
knife.
favourite.
Free for all.
All pistols, maybe. One shot, one
Yeah.
kill. We can
Yeah.
do that.
What was it? What was it? Hardcore mode where it was like one shot, one kill.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it
We've
takes
got
off
all
your
them
HUD
lined
and
up.
everything too.
We can get all the vehicles
Ooh.
out as well. It's gonna be great. So
SWAT.
yeah.
That's the one. Oh no, it said SWAT. Thank you very
Oh,
much for
SWAT,
reminding me.
yes, thank you.
SWAT. Yeah.
So yes.
Fantastic.
I can see Vincenzo Onos is like, oh my god, Halo, Vincenzo as well. So yeah, I think it's gonna be great. Looking forward to it. So make sure you're following our Twitter handle, which is at above the fold _1. And if you're not on our Discord, make sure you join our Discord as well, so you can get
Updating
all
peeps on Discord.
of the updates. Right. So that is the spicy news, and there will be more Let's Plays coming down the line. So make sure you are keeping in touch with the space. So, guys, it's been great. It's been a hell of a show. Again, I want to thank our guest, Authentic, joining us today. Authentic, can you tell the people what you're currently playing, what you're streaming, what you're watching? Give them the spills.
Yeah, so I've been doing like a lot of Dead by Daylight recently, but I think my next single player game I'm going to be playing is Man of Medan. Just installed that
Ooh.
recently.
Oh.
Heard a lot of good things about it, so I'm pretty excited. It is also multiplayer too, which I also learned recently too, which I thought was kind of a cool thing. But apparently,
It's quite
all your
interesting you say that real quick because that's what. Cause I did a poll. I did a poll for October for what games to play, and that was one of them.
Yeah.
So we might be streaming that at the same time this month.
very nice, very nice. Yeah, it's I thought it was really cool that like you start with like 5 characters, but they can all actually die in the game if you make the wrong choices. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's unique, and then you can play multiplayer with it too, which is cool.
Yeah.
So you get to like do teamwork, and then I saw a video of it too, like of like it being multiplayer, and then they were trying to push something, and then one person just dipped out, and the other person died. I was like, oh my god, gotta trust people in this game.
Sacrifices have to be made.
Yeah, got to pick your co-op partner
Lovely.
wisely.
Yes. Nice.
So-
So you be streaming that in terms of anything you're watching? Are you watching anything exciting or
As far as like movies or TV shows,
any TV shows, movies, anime? Yeah.
so I'm a big fan of the Lucifer series that's on Netflix right now. It used to be on Fox, I think it was, but Netflix saved it. So I'm a big fan of that. I know the latest season came out like a month or so ago, and I still haven't got a chance to watch it. But since I'm off this week, that is on my list to watch this week.
Binging the
Awesome.
Lucifer. I only watched the first season.
Dude,
I was looking
you
at
gotta
that,
watch
yeah,
it.
Looks good.
It's great.
Very, very, very good.
Yep.
I might jump
I've
out
seen
on
a
that.
few clips on like when you scroll on Facebook, a lot of clips on there. It does look a really like a really good show, so I might check that out.
It
Yeah,
was canned, wasn't it, before Netflix picked it up?
Oh.
And a season.
Easy steal. So where can the people find you, Authentic? Tell them where they can find you.
They can. So I have a Twitter. Twitter.
Your
I have a
website,
Twitter.
guys.
Put it away.
Give them your OnlyFans
follow my Twiddle.
as well if you want to do
Uh,
that.
wh-
Go on.
What's up? What?
You can give them your OnlyFans as well if you want to do that too. It's fine. There's no
Well,
problem.
okay. Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because I didn't know if this was a safe place for me to do that. But I'm actually coming out with an only feet.
Only feet? Oh god. All right
In
then.
a
It's the next big thing. It's the next big thing. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's good.
Uh,
I've got it. It's good. I'll send everybody the link.
So yeah, I have a Twitter. So it's the same my same username. So AuthenticX81 on Twitter. Also my Twitch channel is the same. AuthenticX81.
Yeah.
So I usually post also on Discord, which I don't have here. But yeah, so I have a Discord. I have Twitter. On Twitter, I usually post right before I go live as well. So usually that's the best place to get updates about when I stream, since unfortunately my schedule is kind of all over the place.
Gotcha. So guys, make sure you follow him. I've been on his streams. I think everybody in his channel right now has been on his streams, and they can vouch. It's a cozy, pretty casual, chill place, and Authentic is an amazing streamer. So make sure you give him some love. Follow. And yeah, thank you again, Authentic, for being here. Um,
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me.
Usual suspects. Neon Demon, tell the people what you're playing, what you're streaming, what you're watching.
What am I playing? Christ, what am I playing? I've been playing. I've been dabbling between Star Wars Squadrons and Baldur's Gate. So two very different games. Squadrons. I think I was playing this last week as well. The VR in that is incredible. Like being in a cockpit of your favorite starfighter is an experience like no other. I've been really enjoying that. Baldur's Gate, I've just been losing many hours into that. I was hoping to stream it the night that they came out, but I got carried away. So, yeah, I mean, other than that, me and Sherry played Stardew Valley on Switch this morning, this afternoon. That was great. We had created a little farm. We had a lot of fun with that.
Till I came in and ruined it for everybody.
Smash.
But yeah, other than that, watching wise, I'm currently watching The Haunting of Bly Manor, which so far
That's the new one that came out. No,
that's the new
Oh,
one.
yeah, I saw that. It looks really good. Yeah.
Other than a really dodgy British accent, it's very good so far. But other than that, that's pretty much all I'm watching streaming wise. I finished the first half of Soma. Hopefully finish that up on my next stream, which I'll probably start tomorrow,
Nice.
Tuesday, and then on to Man of Medan later on in the month.
Very good. I think we're playing that together, so yes.
Yes, we are. And you can find me at neon_demon4 on Twitter, and Twitch is twitch.tv/neondemon4.
Go.
So there's no schedule because my life is upside down with work and streaming. So.
I know that life.
Yes.
Guys, go check him out. Neon Demon is fantastic streamer, and he has all the spiels in what's happening in the gaming industry. So if you want to be up to date with that as well, he'll drop you some nice news. So yeah, do that.
You'll be bored.
Look at Nuns just preparing his. Look at him just lushing his beard. It's like, oh yes, it's my turn now. Yes, finally. Nuns, tell the people. Tell the people what you're playing, what you're streaming.
At the moment, I mean, yesterday we had our first Dodo Wars, our community event. That will be happening a lot more, just setting up different events, etc. between myself, Authentic, Witchy Players, and Sheriffly. So either in any of our Discords, if you're a sub to us, you can join our Ark server. So I've been playing a lot of Ark recently. Again, every Monday I'm going to try and play a bit of a spooky game / any new kind of indie or any games that have got not the best reviews, just to kind of have a laugh in a way. I got played on last Monday we played Hainfield Asylum, which was fantastic, recommended by the Queen Bee. That was a very good indie game for £5. Again with Crooked Man, but at the moment I've been diving headfirst into Dead by Daylight with Authentic and Sheriffly. Played a bit with Mr. Dot earlier, so that has been absolutely fantastic. So you see me play a lot more of Dead by Daylight and a bit of Tarkov as well eventually.
Oh yes, nice.
Some Phasmophobia is coming up too.
Oh, sorry, yes, that's right. So tonight I'm planning to stream. I don't usually stream on Sunday, but a bit of Dead by Daylight with myself, Authentic, and Sheriffly. Authentic's still up for it. And later on tonight, I'll be streaming Phasmophobia with Authentic. So if you want to see ourselves change our pants 2 or 3 4 times, scream like little girls, yes, you can catch us tonight on that. I'll post a bit of an update of when we are going to play. We're going to play some Dead by Daylight first with a few peeps. So yeah, you can catch me on twitch.tv/nuns and Moses, and the Moses has got a 0 instead of an O, and I post the odd occasion on Twitter, which is Nuns and Moses _live, again Moses with a 0. And yeah, schedules are iffy again, like everybody else except Arrow, who's on every day of the week. I try and stream Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. For a special occasion like tonight. Woo!
Nice. Make sure you guys go drop on.
Drop.
On.
You drop
can
out,
drop
John,
out, you know.
it's fine.
Don't drop. Don't
Just
drop
drop
out.
it, drop
Stay
it,
in
drop
school.
out.
Stay in school.
Yeah.
Make sure.
Tell us what you're up to, Femi.
Just quickly, make sure you guys go check his stream. He's doing Phasmophobia. He's gonna get spooked as hell, so make sure you go do that. Yeah, it's gonna be great. Me, just real quick. What have I been up to? Yes, I finished. I finished The Wolf Among Us on Thursday, which was crazy. I can't.
Killing any more
finished it.
any more children?
I don't kill kids. This is some kind of weird. You know what? Let's not address this right now. Yes, I finished that on Thursday. It was great. The ending blew my mind. It's a shame there's not going to be a season 2 because the Telltale is no longer in operation. So, rest in peace. And we played Phasmophobia on Friday, which is the reason why I've not slept well for the last couple of days. 'Cause I'm spooked. And watching wise, catching a bit of anime. New season of Haikyuu, so volleyball. It's about volleyball, and Nobilis. Those of you that have heard of Nobilis, there's a new story about that. It's now in high school. It's great. It's great. So I'm watching a lot of anime and whatnot. I'll be starting because you mentioned it. Soma. It was chosen by the people.
Oh, wow.
So I'll be starting that on Monday. I am not looking forward to this because I don't do spooky games well. So starting that Monday, and then Friday we have again the Halo Pew Pew. So catch me on Twitch at aro_r_o every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, sometimes Saturday, definitely not Sunday. So Monday to Saturday you can catch me on there. 6 p.m. GMT +2. Yes, I got it right. And you can catch me on Twitter and Instagram at A_R_O_2NG. I wish I could just take my name back. Whoever has the freaking arrow should just give it to me. I can pay the person in bits. But yes. So just message me on there if you want to talk to me. I'm there. Thank you so much to our guest, Authentic. Really, really appreciate you for
Thank you very much.
gracing us with your presence and making this a fantastic show.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate being here.
It's been great. And again, thank you to everybody that has been in the stream, watching us, hearing us. Thank you so much. We appreciate you guys as always. Again, you can catch us on Twitter at AboveTheFold_1, and also our videos are also uploaded on YouTube at AboveTheFold_1. Again, we shall be posting more updates regarding the Halo Wars. If you want to be part of that, make sure you join our Discord, follow our Twitter so that you can get all of the juicy updates. And with that said, that has been episode 20 guys. Thank you so much.
Woo.
Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Thank you very much.
Peace.
See you later.